So in this episode 26, we're mostly dealing with just some miscellaneous repairs. And it will come to a point in your project where you will just kind of have a list of miscellaneous repairs that you need to do. So instead of going over kind of what the repairs we do, you'll see I'm just filling some holes. I've got to cap off the opening at the bottom of the A pillar. It's important to have a drain hole there, by the way. And then capping off another opening just at the rear wheel well. So it's really today is just kind of about project management, I guess, is what maybe we'll talk about, is how you want to approach your project and how you want to manage going through all the jobs, because it's important to think about what works for you. I know that everybody is going to work differently, and what works for me works for me, and it might not work for you, but some people sometimes ask how I approach it and how do I, go from A to B. And for me, what makes me feel the best, and I do think you need to think about the process that is going to make you feel the best, because I do think there is something there to if you're feeling good about how you're approaching things, you will have better success. If you don't feel good about how you're approaching things, or if it's making you anxious or stressed, you might want to change the way you approach things, because I think it is important to feel good about how you're approaching it. Your process matters, and if it's making you feel good, I think it will translate to better success for you. So what's working for me is what makes me feel good about being in the garage. You might have a different process, and that's great for you. I'm not saying that my way is the best way, but it definitely works for me in my project management. And so what I really like to do is I really like to focus on one job at a time. I get overwhelmed if I have lots of little jobs here and there, and I'm jumping from this to that to the other, starting a job, ordering parts, going to something else, and then finishing the other job. It doesn't work well for me. It stresses me out and makes me anxious to have lots of little things on the go. So when I start a job, I don't start it until I know that I can go from A to B without interruption and without major delays, so that I can finish that one job. I really like getting into one job and just focusing on that, going from start to finish, whatever that's going to look like. And the job is going to have to be defined by you, because when you're doing a restoration, the restoration is one big job, but you are going to have to break it up into small, I say this a lot, small doable goals. Your goal is to restore the whole car, but you're going to have to take it in small bites, because if you look at the big picture, you'll get lost in the details of it and overwhelmed, and you won't have success. So my advice for project management is to break every job down into smaller jobs. So we're in the metalwork phase right now. I have to now break each job down into smaller jobs. And so that really helps me with just staying on track, keeping pace, feeling like I'm making progress, because when you jump around, sometimes you can be doing stuff in the garage every day for 2 weeks and feel like you've gotten nowhere because you're not really completing anything. So for me, it really helps if I've got a job that I know I can complete in 1 or 2 days. You get that little satisfaction of something off your to-do list, and it doesn't feel like you're swamped or stagnating or just not making the progress that you're wanting to make. So small doable goals, that is great for project management. And then eventually, like in this video, you are just going to come down to a lot of really little jobs that can really pile up and sometimes feel like you really want to push them aside, because sometimes they only take about 20 minutes to do the actual job. So sometimes it feels like a waste of your time to only be doing a little 20-minute job. So I found it very helpful at this point, because a lot of my big jobs were near completion, to just start, if I came across something that I didn't want to do right away, just write it on a list. Or I think at this point, I was just sitting in the garage one day feeling kind of overwhelmed by all the little things that I needed to do. And it really helped for me to take a big board and write everything down. I think I just walked around the car for about 45 minutes, looking at everything and noticing, oh yeah, I got to fill that hole. Oh yeah, this has got to be fixed. Lots of little things, little welds that maybe I didn't grind down. I need to go back and do that. So it really helped for me to go and just do a big walk around the car, write everything down. And then I had a week, probably less than a week. And I just went and just started knocking them off the list, because all these things really did need to be done before. This was my before epoxy primer to-do list. And all of these things really did need to be done before we hit that milestone. So when you're thinking about project management, just take some time to find out what is going to work for you. It might take a few different approaches for you to realize what makes you feel like you're having success, because that's important. You have to feel like you're making success and making progress in the garage, because I think a lot of people will burn out because they're trying to do too many things at once and they don't feel like they've done anything. Like I've been there where you know you're doing stuff every day, but because nothing is really getting finished, you're right in the middle of like 10 different things. It can really bog down you mentally if you're not at least finishing some of those things. So for me, I'm one job at a time. Rarely do I have more than one job going on at a time, because I know that I can do those jobs in 1 or 2 days. Some jobs take a little bit longer, but typically I like to go out in the garage and say, what is the one thing that I can get done today? And it's not even replace the panel. It is, well, today I'm going to cut out that panel. And then tomorrow I will fit it. And then the next day I can weld it. See, you break things down into much smaller sort of things that you can do in small amounts of time that will really help you feel like you're getting things done. You kind of have to do like a mental hack and trick your brain into thinking that you're making more progress maybe than you actually are, but that will get you back in the garage more often. I promise you. Small doable goals, that is your best friend. And yeah, just as far as project management goes, just do what's best for you and just try and get that out there as much as you can, because an hour in the garage is an hour off the total time that it's going to take you to do this. So yeah, just best of luck and keep at it.